is our cornbread video, something we have added to the menu recently. We've been trying to think of stuff to do with just the extra pork fat from the whole hogs, and this may just be the thing that we try to put it in. We're going to put all of our dry ingredients together first. Cornmeal, flour, sugar, salt. We're going to do some leavening in the form of baking powder and baking soda, but we want to make sure to sift those so they don't kind of clump up in the batter. And let's go ahead and dump those in. We're going to mix up all the dry ingredients and make sure there's nothing caked together, that all the flour and cornmeal are kind of mixed together well, the salt and leavening are dispersed well and evenly. And then after that we're going to mix the wet ingredients together and then add the dry into the wet. But starting with the wet ingredients, we have buttermilk. So buttermilk cornbread, gotta have buttermilk for that little bit of tang, a little bit of creaminess in there. Next we're gonna go in with some creamed corn. Canned stuff works really well for this type of recipe. Almost every cornbread recipe that you look up, I mean, a lot of them have this kind of canned creamed corn in there. Some eggs. Just gonna hold everything together. A little binder. Whip them up. Whip them first, then put them in. Then after that, we're gonna go in with some mayonnaise. It's gonna keep our cornbread nice and moist. And our pork lard. This is rendered from cooked hog, so it's already just a little bit smoky. We're gonna mix that up. Looks just lovely. Eat that just with a spoon by itself, right guys? Yeah. Then we're gonna start adding the dry into the wet. Not all at the same time. I think we're gonna go about half and then mix it, and then half and then mix it again. I think if we were to make, when we do make this recipe again, we're going to probably make it in either a larger bowl or a bus tub or something. Kind of rookie mistake on our part to put it into this bowl that's almost completely full. But always make sure to scrape down the sides when you're making any batter like this. A lot of the dry stuff and kind of little particulates can stick to the sides, so make sure you get in there with the whisk and with the spatula, scrape down the sides, get it all mixed, all incorporated. Of course, you don't want to over mix it because there's flour in here. We don't want to develop too much gluten. That's why we scrape and fold, scrape and fold. Oui, chef. Wonderful. One last little mix. We're going to get ready to put it into our pans. Preparing our pans with a little bit of oil spray in the bottom of the pan to help the parchment paper stick, and then a little bit of spray on the parchment paper to make sure it doesn't stick to our cornbread. Even though parchment paper itself is not stick, this is just a little bit of insurance. Going to try to divide our batter as evenly as we can. We're baking it into 3 hotel pans here. I think we're gonna get like 24 slices, 24 squares out of each. 8 by 4. I think that's how many we cut. Try to divide it as evenly as possible. Definitely scrape the entire bowl. Make sure we get every little gram of batter out of that bowl. Spread it out evenly so it cooks evenly. We've already got our oven hot, preheated. Probably cook these around 350, 375. Time to go in the oven. Couple on top, one on bottom. Close her up. Don't forget to flip them around halfway through. What we think is halfway through. It was more like a third of the way through. I think these took all about 40 minutes total. The got just a little bit of color. We hit our target temperature. Look at that thing. Too bad we don't have smell-o-vision. Cornbread cooking smells so good. Ooh. Here we go. This is the next day after they've cooled overnight. Matthew is going to cut these into even squares, and then we are going to bag them and take them to the truck where we'll put them in the warmer and then serve them with some whipped lard. You can see we're just bisecting every time, just trying to cut them as evenly as possible, making sure that we are cutting them into even pieces. We don't want to give people a small square and a big square on the same tray. Makes us look stupid. This is when the anticipation really builds. Oh, there it is. What a reveal. That looks great. Nice and moist. Clean cut. Not crumbling apart. Beautiful. Now we're just going to put them into bags like this. Like I said, we'll keep some at the commissary for the next couple days. Send some to the truck to get served. Gonna just throw it down on the griddle for a second. Sear it up. Get just a little bit of mild reaction on there. And Bromley's gonna quenelle some of our pork lard. We have some whipped lard with some orange zest. Just throw that baby right on top. Pork lard cornbread. What more do you need in life?